Let's step outside of Appalachia to Aberdeen, Mississippi. There are two strange tales. One of an innocent woman burned alive, the second of a woman who was buried in a strange way. Appalachia, the mountains are like no other. From its rigid terrain, beautiful wildlife, the history, to the people that live their lives here, to the strange, unexplained stories that folks share. Join me while I share this amazing place, one story at a time. The first story is of Alice Hatch Whitfield. Her story is as normal as any other. She was born in New Hanover County, North Carolina. She married Needham Whitfield, and Alice gave birth to Lucy Amelia January 14th, 1821, and Robert Donald September 21st, 1826. Then the whole family moved to Aberdeen, Mississippi, where Alice and Needham raised their family and lived their lives. Alice was known for knitting all the time, but October 18th, 1854, tragedy struck. While knitting, Alice passed away in her rocking chair. Her husband Needham had her buried in the old Aberdeen cemetery. Now, what's so strange about Alice? Everything seems to be normal. Well, the strange and unusual is that Needham had Alice buried in the very rocking chair she passed in. He also placed the knitting equipment in her hands. This is why her headstone is so big. Alice's headstone reads, Alice, the wife of Needham Whitfield, was born in New Hanover County, North Carolina, and died in Aberdeen, Mississippi, October the 18th, 1854, aged 61 years. She was kind to all, a devoted wife, a tender mother, and a zealous member of the Presbyterian Church. It's been passed down for generations, ever since the death of Alice, that this is what happened. Now, is that true? I really don't know. Alice's story is one of so many strange burials, from one being buried standing up to another of an old man buried in his own car. Well, let's get into the second story. The second story is of Mary Points. Mary A. Point was born 1818 in Kentucky. She married Jacob Points and moved to Aberdeen, Mississippi. January 4th, 1852, Mary had a tragic accident. She spilled perfume on her dress and it ignited, burning her severely. She lived 10 days. On January 14th, she passed from her injuries. She was also buried in the old Aberdeen cemetery. So what's so strange about Mary other than the way she died? Well, it's actually her headstone. Mary's husband Jacob had her stone carved with a picture of Mary in the burning dress carved on it. And her stone reads, To my Mary in heaven. January 4th, 1852, wife of Jacob Points. Now, I've heard of many other strange stones that depicted things, but never once a carving of the lady with her dress in flames. That seems to be one of the strangest stones I've ever heard of. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed listening to the tale of Alice Whitfield and Mary Points and their strange burials in Aberdeen, Mississippi. The old Aberdeen Cemetery in Mississippi has many, many historic people buried there, and they're marked with numbers. And sometimes there's little pamphlets that tells what each person's name and their history. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for listening. I love you to pieces, and I'll see you next time.